Welcome to the Save Childhood podcast with Jennifer McCarville. Because childhood has changed, but children have not.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Save Childhood podcast.
I'm Jennifer McCarville.
And I'm Nicole Dugan. And guess what? Today is October 28th and it's officially Save Childhood Day.
Woo! Such a happy time around here. So we want to share with you what Save Childhood is. I got some confetti in your hair. Okay. What Save Childhood is and why it matters and why we have a day to highlight it, right?
Yeah, and we, in our very first episode, we did talk more in depth about what the tenets were, the why and the how, but we're going to briefly touch on that and then share a little bit about how we're celebrating. We're just happy to be doing this work. So what was the movement's purpose? Why did the movement start, Save Childhood?
So
movement?
in the short version, because like you said, we do have one of our first episodes talking about going a little more in depth about this. But in the short version, we had a parent who brought to our attention as she was leaving the school after multiple children being here, who said, "You saved childhood for my children." And you know, we're on year 16. I'm not sure how many years ago that was, but we were several years into the school. And the school had evolved as far as environment goes and communicating our message. And we had made some, big growth in those areas. But we started thinking like, wow, that's so humbling and overwhelming. And every childhood should be saved, not just the children who come to this place. And we know there are other people across the world who are working hard to protect what children really need. We're fortunate to get to meet other educators and work with parents who are really, doing the work to see what it is we need to push against in society, how we follow our instincts, how we give children a childhood that it provides them with what they really need to be whole, healthy, successful people. And every childhood should be saved. So what are the things? And also we, Nicole had taught, us coming together to do Save Childhood wasn't the first time we'd been in a classroom, either one of us, And so we're like, as educators, they're everywhere and you're implementing a lot of these practices. So no matter where you are, you could save childhood. And that's our calling, is to save childhood for children and protect it and advocate for it. So we started talking about what are the things, no matter where you are, no matter what materials you have in your classroom, no matter what your geographical location is, what are the things that everyone could do that would save childhood? What are we doing that saves childhood? And so we started breaking that down, and over a couple of years, we really started talking about how we can share that. Education is a huge piece of the Marvelously Made mission. And so we're educating our own teachers, we're learning and growing together, we're educating and learning and growing with the parents. We are a learning community fully focused on child development, brain research, getting the development right. So as we started breaking this down, and we're doing it here, every childhood should be saved. So what are the things? So we identified 14 of them, 14 things. And we know that these are the things that we're doing here, that no matter what resources you have and where you are, if we do these things, we will save childhood for a generation. And what we know is you save one generation, and then that has the ripple effect of the next one. It's generational work. And children are souls and bodies. So when we get it right, you're altering their DNA. I mean, we know that happens, right? Depending on the environments they're in. And then they have the skills to repeat those things in the way they treat their children. And it's an unfortunate position to be in the world, everyone across the world. I know I was just on a podcast with a friend of ours from Australia, Lucas Ritson, yesterday, and he's doing the work there in Brisbane, I believe. So all over the world, we're doing the work to save childhood. So it doesn't matter where you are. But I guess these are the 14 things.
Okay.
You want to list some of them?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Don't compare.
Say yes.
Sing.
Say no.
Oh. Embrace boredom.
Unplug.
Guide.
Understand play.
Let them move.
Create.
Savor the moment.
Trust the process.
Just read.
And go outside. And those are the things. Those are the 14 things. And within those, we're able to cover all the things that we need to do to save childhood. And it's funny because the say yes, say no over the years is if we've really we've dived into this and we've tried to be sure we have the right 14 things, right? Say yes and say no have to stay because they're not the same, learning to say yes to the things that matter, learning to pause before our immediate reaction is no, and learning to say no to things that steal childhood from our children. And of course, we're going to go more in depth about those things throughout time, not here, but we are excited to celebrate saving childhood. So, we got ourselves a shirt.
Yeah.
We identified our tenants, which
you can get yourself a shirt at rootandtwigstore.com.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
And then we set aside this day. It was actually one of the people on our administrative team who set aside October 28th as Save Childhood Day. And now we celebrate Save Childhood Day every year on October 28th because it's really an opportunity for us to pause and look at the work we're doing and celebrate the commitment and the success and the connections that we're making through getting to do this work and the wonderful people that we're meeting and spending time with. So it's really lovely to have that tradition of stopping to say, yay, who's saving childhood and where are you?
Yeah.
And so that's what we do.
Yeah, and so you can celebrate today by doing something that applies to one of the 14 tenants, saying yes, saying no, just reading, going for a walk, and
pausing and saying yes to something that normally our reaction would be no, yes to another story, yes to longer time playing with our children or giving them more time, taking them to the park, and remembering to savor those moments.
Yeah.
And on our page you'll see people posting photos of themselves in their Save Childhood shirts, and we do have a gathering here with, of course, you've got to have the fuel for saving childhood. We have some coffee for our families and some pastries and things, and so we encourage you, if you have a Save Childhood shirt, we really want you to be sure and take a picture and post it on our Facebook page so we can all connect in that way. Tell us where you are and where you're saving childhood. But yeah, whatever you can do on this day, even if that's taking a moment and pausing to reflect on how far you've come in your own journey, what your goals are, to continue to do the right things for children because they deserve that. We have to advocate for them because what's happening to our children is scary. The mental health care crisis, the frustration that these children are experiencing, the anxiety at absolutely phenomenal levels, the desires, the lack of desire to learn, we have important work to do. It's not just a phrase.
Yeah.
It is a movement that matters.
Yeah, and you can help the movement simply by liking and sharing our posts, our social media posts, this podcast.
Yeah, and just remember, it's one child, one day, one moment at a time. And so as we're all doing that, you're making a difference, we're making a difference, because we know that childhood has changed drastically, not in good ways, but what children need and what children are has not changed.
Right.
And so we're going to keep celebrating every day, but especially on October 28th.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a Save Childhood shirt, like Nicole said, go ahead and get one. If you do have one, we would love for you to put it on today and add a picture to our Facebook page so we can connect with you.
Yeah, happy Safe Childhood Day.
Yay!
Yay. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us today. To learn more and join the movement, go to savechildhood.org.